Hey everyone, in this video I'll be unboxing the iPad Pro M1. This is the 11-inch model with 128 gigs of storage in space gray. I bought this from Amazon.com and this was on special for 1,122 Australian dollars. So I bought this yesterday and today it just arrived in the mail. So let's go ahead and unbox it in this video. So before we unbox it, let's just take a look around. So we have the front picture of the iPad Pro. We have the Apple logo, iPad Pro, Apple logo, iPad Pro. And on the back, as you can see, I have the 128GB iPad Pro 11-inch, third generation Wi-Fi. And also tells you what is included in the iPad Pro box. So we have this pull tab here, so let's go ahead and pull this tab. We have the iPad Pro sitting in its box. So let's pull this tab. So we're going to come back to this. So we got designed by Apple in California. And inside we have iPad Pro. So instructions on how to use the iPad Pro and its features, which is very easy and simple. We've got iPad information and 2 large Apple stickers. Also included in the box, you get a 20-watt power adapter. So as you can see, it's a 20-watt power adapter. And the other side we have a USB-C port. And down here we have a USB-C to USB-C charging cable. And that's all you get in the box. So the iPad is currently covered in this plastic film, so let's go ahead and remove this film. So taking a look around the iPad, this is the 11-inch iPad. So this is the liquid retina display model. So it doesn't have the mini LED, just the standard LCD. So on the front here we have our sensors for Face ID, along with our ultra wide camera and the microphone. And you can see the bezels running along the side of the iPad. On the right hand side we have the magnetic connector to connect the Apple Pencil. So this would magnetically sit on the connector to hold and charge the pencil. And we have our volume up and down buttons. On the top we have our sleep wake button with our speakers and 2 microphone ports. On this side here we just have our microphone. On the bottom we have our speakers, and in the middle we have our USB Type-C port. On the back we have our antenna lines and our cameras. So on the top we have our 12 megapixel wide camera, and on the bottom we have a 10 megapixel ultra wide camera, along with the LED flash, the LiDAR sensor, and a microphone. And here is the back. So we have the Apple logo, an iPad, and on the bottom we have the smart connector to connect Apple case accessories. Let's go ahead and power this on. So let's swipe up to get started. So English, we're in Australia. I'm going to set up manually. I'm going to quickly connect to my network. Now it's going to take a few minutes to activate my iPad. Continue. We'll set up later. We're going to skip this. I'll do this later. We're not going to transfer. I'm going to quickly sign into my Apple ID. We'll set up later in settings. We'll share it. So our iPad is all set up and ready to go. So I have the 128 gig version. So with this specific model, it comes with 8 gigs of RAM. Same thing applies if you do get the 256 gigs or 512 gigs. But if you do get the 1 or 2 terabyte of storage, instead of 8 gigs of RAM, you do instead get 16 gigs of RAM. So one of the reasons why I got the M1 version is because if you actually go onto the Apple website, the M1 version that they sold last year was priced at $1,199 for the 11-inch. And for the 12.9 inch, it was priced at $1,649. But now with the M2 iPad Pros, instead of the same pricing as the US, they've increased the price. So it's now starting at $1,399 for the 11-inch and $1,899 for the 12.9 inch. So as you can see, it's a $200 or $250 price difference just for the processor and a little bit of extra better Bluetooth and better Wi-Fi, etc. So unfortunately, it's one of those things where I would say if you do want to buy the new iPad Pros, try and find the M1 models, as they are cheaper if you live outside of the US, because I don't recommend buying the iPad Pro M2. Since the processors is, it might be a bit faster, but it probably, it's such an overkill for the M1 with the iPads that, with the M2, you won't even notice any differences. And plus, all those little extra features is not going to really add that $200 difference value. So instead, try and look out for the M1 iPads if you can go on eBay or Amazon if they're selling it as a refurbished model or even secondhand, or even better if you get it brand new. Please definitely go out and buy the iPad Pro M1 versions instead of the M2 version. So now we're going to quickly do a Geekbench test. So as you can see, I have the iPad Pro 11-inch 3rd generation, currently running on iOS 15.6.1, using the M1 Apple processor with 8 gigs of RAM. So we're going to run the benchmark and see the results. So this is our final result for our Geekbench score. So for our single core score, we have 1,711, and for our multi-core score, we have 7,199. So now just to finish this video off, I just want to compare the iPad Pro 11-inch versus the iPad Pro 10.5-inch. As you can see, the bezels on the iPad Pro 11-inch is a lot thinner. So they've reduced the bezels and deleted the home button. So now it's just a very thin border around the edge of the iPad. And they've included Face ID on the top. Whereas the old iPad would have thin side bezels, but the top and bottom was a bit thick and has the home button. And taking a look at the back of the design, as you can see, the iPad Pro 11-inch is a lot more squarer in design and the edge is a lot more sharper. The iPad Pro 10.5-inch, the edges is tapered to the side and the cameras are a lot more different. So we have dual cameras on this with the LiDAR sensor and the microphone, whereas the 10.5-inch only had a single camera with the LED flash. And you can see the color is a lot more darker on the new iPad Pro compared to the old one. And here's a quick comparison between the iPad Pro and the Galaxy Z Fold 3. So the dimension is very different. And here is the iPad Pro against the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So that's it for this video. That's just a quick unboxing and first quick look at the iPad Pro 11-inch with the M1 chip. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and thank you for watching.